there, welcome to VCode's 100 Days of Coding Challenge. Today is the final day of the phase 1 and it is day 30. So let's see the question number 1. So the question is, write a Java program that finds and prints all pairs of elements in an array that sum to the given target value. You will be given an array and a target sum, and your task is to find all the pairs of elements whose sum equals to the target. So basically we would be given an array and a target. So we need to find all the pairs whose sum is equal to target. If we get a pair like that, we would make a list out of it, and that list we are going to add into another list. So that is the return type of the function. So finally we would be returning that. So how can we do that? So here we can see a sample input also given. So here is an array and the target is 9. So we need to output all the types of pairs whose sum is equal to 9. So let's find out how to do this. So the first and foremost approach is the brute force approach, where we will find all types of pairs and check the sum with the target. So we will take first all the pairs starting from 2. So 2, 7, 2, 4, 2, 0, 2, 9, 2, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3. So whatever pairs we get, we will add them to the list and we will add that to the final list. And the next time we would start the loop from 7. So now we will check all the pairs starting with 7. So 7, 4, 7, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 7, 1, 7, 3. And the next time we will start from 4, 4, 0, 4, 9, 4, 5, 4, 1, 4, 3. So what are we doing here? So here we can write 2 for loops. So for loop outside will be keeping track of the first element, and the for loop inside will keep track of all the second elements. So this is the basic idea. So the time complexity would be big of n squared. So while iterating, we will check if array of I plus array of j is equal to sum is equal to the target. So if it is equal, then we will add those both elements to a pair list, and that list we will add to the final list. So this is about the first approach. What is the second approach? So the second approach is the 2-pointer approach, where we will be using 2 pointers to keep track of all the elements we visited, and we would find out which pair whose sum is equal to target. So firstly, for that we need to sort this array. So let's write the sorted form of this array. So which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and 9. So these are all the numbers in the sorted form. So what we'll do is we'll keep 2 pointers. One is left and the other one is right. So left is the leftmost and the right is the rightmost indexes pointing towards the left and right values. So what we'll do is firstly we will add these both numbers and find if it is equal to the target or not. So in this case the target was 9. So we are checking all the pairs whose sum is equal to 9. So 0 plus 9 is 9. So we can add that to the list. So this is done. Now the left will be moving forward and the right will be moving backward, because we don't need the 0 and 9 anymore. Now we can move the left one forward and right backward. So now left is here and right is here. So what will be the sum of both these values? It is 1 plus 7 is 8, which is less than the target value, which is 9, right? So what we can do? We need to increase our sum a little bit more. For that, what we have to do is we can move the left pointer rightwards. So why we are doing only left pointer? So that is because we are having the sum, which is 7 plus 1 is less than 8. If it was greater than 8, then we would have moved the right value, because as this array is already in the sorted order, to increase the sum value, we can move the left pointer. To decrease the sum value, we can move the right pointer. So what will happen? So now the pointer will be here at 2 and the sum value will become 7 plus 2 is 9. So we have got another pair, which is 2 and 7. So we can keep on doing that and we would be getting all the pairs. So this is the approach for the second problem. So this is the second approach. So now let's write the code for the same. So I've already created the Java file. Let me open it. So let me first write the array. So I'll name it as A, and I will take the same array from the sample. So 2, 7, this one. And I will write the target here. Int target is 9. So now we would need to create a result, right? So which is of type list of lists. So I will create list of type integer. And I'll name it as pairs. So this is the final pairs equals. So the return type of the function we are going to call is also list of lists, which I'm going to store in this pairs. So I'm going to call the function here. Find, what was the function name? Find pairs with sum. So I'll write it here. And here I will call the array and target. So after finding the pairs, I can iterate through each pair and print them. So I am writing for loop for list of integer. So each pair is in the form of a list, right? Inside the list of lists. So I will iterate through each pair in the pairs and print that pair. So this is just for the printing purpose. So now let's write the main method. So static, what is the return type? It is list of lists. So list of integer. And here I'll write the function name, pairs with sum. Now we can give the input parameters, which is an array and target. So firstly, I will write the first approach. So what is that approach? It is the brute force one. So we need to create the result list of lists. So list of integer, and I will name it as result equals new array list. So this list of lists is called nothing but an array list. So why we are using array list here instead of an array? This is because we don't know actually how many pairs are going to come out of the array. So that means we don't know what must be the size of the array if we were going to store it as an array. That's why we are using an array list where the size is dynamic. That means it can be changed. So I have declared it, and finally I will return the result also. So now it's time to write the logic. So what we'll do is we will iterate through the array. So I equals 0, I less than a dot length, and I plus plus, and next loop for and j equals I plus 1, j less than a dot length, and j plus plus. So here we will check if the a of I plus a of j is equal to, what is that, target. Then we are going to add this pair to the list. So now if it is true, I am going to create a list of integers and I'll name it as pair equals new array list. So why am I doing this is because I'm going to create a pair out of these two numbers, and that pair I will add to the result list. So I will add pair dot add a of I and pair dot add a of j, and this pair I am going to add it to the result. So result dot add pair. That's it. And so whenever we get the sum is equal to target, we are going to do this, and finally we will return the result. So now let's run the code and check. I've opened the terminal, javac target sum.java and java target sum. So you can see we had got the 3 pairs from the array whose sum is equal to 9. So this was the first approach. Now let's quickly see the second approach. So for that, I'm not going to change anything in the main method because it's the same. We are going to change the function. So here I'm going to keep the result same. The logic is going to be changed. Firstly, what we need to do is we need to sort the array. So arrays.sort of A. So I have sorted the array. Now it's time to declare the left and right indexes. So int left equals 0, int right equals a.length minus 1. It is the last index. So here we need to import this arrays from the util package. So now, what was the condition? So when we are going to stop this second approach, so while the left doesn't exceed right, so in this case, when this left pointer exceeds the right, that means we hadn't found any pair from this array. So the stopping condition for this question is while left is less than right, we need to perform something. So what is that? So if so I will declare a variable called sum, and I will add a of left plus a of right, so that it would be easy for us to write the conditional statements. So if sum is equal to target, what we are going to do? We are going to create the list of integer and add it, which is a pair. I will declare it array list, and to this pair I will add a of left and a of right, and this pair would be added to the result. After this, just because we had got a pair, we are going to write left plus plus and right minus minus. So both the pointers will move. Else, so what is another condition? Else if the sum is less than target. So if the sum is less than target, we need to move the left pointer ahead. So only left plus plus. So what is the else condition? So the final condition is when sum is greater than the target. So what we will move? The right pointer will be moved backwards. So right minus minus to decrease the value. That's it. So this part was changed. So this is a little better approach than the previous approach. So now let's run the code. I have compiled it. Now let's run it. So we have got the same output. So that's it. So these were the two approaches to solve the problem. The first one was the brute force approach, and this was the brute force approach was having the complexity of big O of n square, because we had written nested for loop. So it is nearly big O of n square. And here the time complexity is big O of n log n. So this arrays.sort method has a time complexity of n log n, and this would be running for up to big O of n. So the resultant time complexity is big O of n log n, which is a little better than the n square approach. There is also an approach using a hash set, which would be giving us a linear time complexity. So you guys can check that out. So that's it for this video. Do follow the 100 days of coding challenge from VCode. Thank you for watching.